Bad jokes by Jeff. First day as a pilot. Me. Looking down nervously. What are all these buttons for? Co-pilot. They keep your shirt closed. OP. We've talked about your URL. Next year's 2020. Not terrible. This decade ends in 2 months. Bad. 1980 was nearly 40 years ago. Somehow the worst thing I've ever read. Till a philosophy riddle from 1688 was recently solved. If a man born blind can feel the differences between shapes, such as spheres and cubes, could he, if given the ability, distinguish those objects by sight alone? In 2003, 5 people had their sight restored through surgery, and, no they could not. I love when apparently deep questions turn out to have clear empirical answers. Internet Explorer. On my way to raid Area 51, guys. The longer it takes for this to come across your dash, the funnier it is. I'm still don't really understand how some people have trouble just being nice. Oh my gosh, you're such a good person. Hey, everybody, come look at how much of a good person this is. I literally cannot comprehend how you got offended by this, but thanks for proving my point anyway. 4. You see, I was attacked by the original worker. The year was 2019. It happens this year, folks. Robot struck and killed by self-driving Tesla in Las Vegas, it says. Futurama. You can't prove it won't happen. Character. Puts on a suit and top hat and has mild to extreme evil tendencies. Y'all. This is the hottest character I have ever seen in my entire life. Is this about Mr. Peanut? Hey, did Bella and Edward ever sit down and talk about what it felt like for him to die of Spanish influenza, or was that like a trigger for him and off limits? Edward sees flu shot poster at the hospital, immediately breaks down sobbing. Edward Cullen actually fought every anti-vaxxer in the entire state of Washington. We just didn't get to read about it because it wasn't relevant to Bella's story. Didn't think it would take 14 years for me to finally wade into the Twilight fandom, but it appears there's gold in them the hills. Halloween costume idea. Gradual mutation. 1. Wear a lab coat to the party and chat about your experiments on crocodiles. 2. Every hour go to the bathroom and apply more scaly makeup. 3. Ask people for meat. 4. At the end of the night, put a lab coat on a crocodile and let it loose. We wanna be nurses, Joy, like our mother, like your mother and your cousin, your aunt, your sister-in-law, your grandmother, and every single woman in your family. Do they all just mate with the same man or something? Obviously, they reproduce asexually through mitosis. Once, when I was 9, my teacher told me to write the most beautiful love story I could imagine, and I wrote a story about a shark and a horse who fell in love, and the horse jumped into the sea to be with the shark, but it drowned and died, and the shark was so sad that it also died. The teacher called my parents. One time a guy and I were having an argument, and he pulled a knife on me, and because I'm a dumbass idiot, my response was to take out my knife and go, "What now, genius?" And what happened next was we just stood there for 10 straight minutes, not moving, because neither of us wanted to put the knife down first, and basically that's our entire international situation regarding nuclear weapons. What happened afterwards? My mom showed up. This is abstract impressionism. Just introduced a kid to her adoptive parents. They brought her a dozen roses. We met at a restaurant. I arrived early to get a private booth and told the waitstaff what was up. So all the servers were having a cry in the corner. I'm at a coffee shop a few miles away, giving them space and having my own cry. Adoptive mom clarified to me later, roses were pink because pink means forever. What's more important than the roses, though, is they also brought her a luggage set, so she wouldn't be moving her things in garbage bags. The luggage matches this, cause it's family luggage for family trips. And now the rest of us are crying too. Me, when I see a dog. Puppy. Me, when I see a service dog. Mr. Puppy, me, when I see a police dog. Officer Puppy, me, when I see a police dog. Class traitor. Clowns are the pegs on which the circus is hung. Pegging clowns. Pegging hung clowns. This is why this website is worth negative money. In the movie Shazam, 2019, we can see that the movie bears a striking resemblance to the movie Pet Sematary, 2019. This is a subtle nod to the fact that I entered the wrong theater. Friendly reminder. Doing your best does not mean working yourself to the point of a mental breakdown. This one still smashes me in the face 10 times a year. Do not ignore pain. It's no longer your best at that point. It's no longer your best at that point. I judge how good a book is based on how disoriented I'm with my physical surroundings after closing it. Me, after finishing a good book. My cat, for no goddamn reason at all, except that he's a cat and he can do whatever the F he wants. What if I just run at this wall, do a sick kickflip, scare myself with the sound it makes, and then proceed to run over your sleeping body? Would that be fucked up, or what? What if I'm actually really hot, and everyone just thinks I'm out of their league? Real talk, there was this guy in my school, and everyone would talk about how hot he was in class, but no one thought they were good enough to talk to him, so he stayed single all throughout high school. This is a possibility. I can't just send her off to Celestia knows where without thinking it through. I was not aware that I was an expression. TFW, you accidentally say oh my god to God's face. It's more like saying God knows, and God replies no I f***ing don't. The other night husband and I were watching a documentary about the Yeti, where they were doing DNA analysis of samples of supposed Yeti fur, and every one of them came back as bears. Anyway, the next night we watched a thing about some pig man who is supposed to live in Vermont. People said it had claws and a pig nose, but walked upright like a man. Now, I happen to know that sideshows used to shave bears and present them as pigmen. So every piece of evidence they gave of this monster sounds to me like a bear with mange. So now the running joke in our house is that everything is bears. Aliens? Bears? Loch Ness Monster? Bear. Every cryptozoological mystery is just a very crafty bear. Bears? They're everywhere. Be wary. Anyone or anything could be a bear. Oh shh. Do you ever notice yourself getting bad again? Like, you know you're not doing work that needs to be done. You know you're not cleaning. You know you're not taking care of yourself. You know all the things you need to do to start trying to feel better. But you just can't. And you're left feeling like shh because you thought you were getting better. But here we are. You'll ever get those random ghost shivers where it isn't even cold or anything, but all of a sudden it feels like you are full of static electricity and you shake uncontrollably? The pictures might make it seem like a slow process, but this really happens very rapidly in just a few seconds. One just hit me. I once heard that this is your brain randomly zapping you with electrical signals to make sure you're not dead. Not sure if that's true. My brain, seeing if I'm alive or dead. Vibe check. Blueberry pancakes. For 14 pancakes, stir 1 cup fresh or frozen, thawed, and drained blueberries into batter. For 132 pancakes, stir 9 cups blueberries into batter. You can have 14 pancakes or 132. There is no in between. It's not even an equal conversion like why. Ed in Eddie waterboarding scene. You will be. It's not waterboarding, it's Chinese water torture. Look it up. Sorry, I wasn't invested enough in this joke to fact check what war crime Eddie was committing. I wish it was 1600, so I could spell words however my heart decide. Thou canst spell words however thou likest hell die, if thou hisn'st a coward. Please no, this is how French happened.